have heard, I've heard of some patients getting some massive relief on the carnivore diet, and they have some weird symptoms, kind of like yours. I'm not saying it could help you, but you might look into it. And so I did, and I did. I found out that it had helped. A lot of weird. It didn't make sense to me because what I had learned, was what everybody learns. But I'd also learned it in pharmacy school was that they kind of demonized red meat. They said we needed to limit it because it's massively inflammatory and it can cause gout and it's got saturated fat, which is going to clog all my arteries. I'm going to get colon cancer. There's no fiber, so I'm going to be constipated like just permanently. And based off of those assumptions, I guess I should say, because they were false. um, and maybe fear of that. I'm not sure. I had never tried it before. I'd never really considered it. Even though I had tried a lot of other diets, I'd never tried that one. And I said, you know what? They're telling me I'm going to die anyway. I got nothing to lose. I'm going to try it for 30 days. I don't think it's going to work, but I'm going to do it. Guys, this is the part of the story where I can't put enough emphasis on how powerful this was for me. It was like magic. It was like a miracle. Literally within 10 days or less. It's not like I was counting on a calendar. All I know is it happened quickly. I felt the inflammation going down inside my body for the first time in well over a decade than any of those medications, including the big guns or any other diet. And it wasn't close. I'm talking, it was like 100 times more powerful, like not close. I couldn't believe it. I was in disbelief. I looked at my wife and I said, you ain't gonna believe this. But if there is no way I'm stopping this diet at day 30 if it continues to go the way it's going. And sure enough, it did. So I did another 30 and another 30, and then I did another 90, and then I did another 180. And before I know it, a whole year had gone by. And by now, literally all my symptoms, I had symptoms head to toe that, all of including the crazy pain in my neck was completely gone. And I'm in disbelief at this point. Not only that, I had started sleeping better, recovering better. I was in a better mood. I wanted to go work out. It wasn't like, oh, I got to go work out. It was like, let's go work out, and started to put some muscle back on. By the end of that year, I'd lost 50 to 60 pounds. It completely changed my physiology. And unbeknownst to my rheumatologist, I wasn't taking the medication anymore because I didn't need it. I didn't need it. Now, I didn't tell her about the diet because two things. One, I knew she would say it was preposterous and crazy. And also, I didn't want to tell her that I wasn't taking my medications until I knew for a fact that, I didn't need them. So I went ahead for another maybe 6 to 12 months. I don't know. I didn't mark it on my calendar, but eventually I fired my rheumatologist. And to this day, 6 years later, I'm still on the diet and I don't even take a baby aspirin for inflammation. So you got to understand, I did not think this was going to work. This was a complete wake up call. It happened right when it needed to, but I had to get very desperate. I had to get very desperate. And so that's key. If you're not desperate enough, I don't, it would be hard to do. If I was otherwise healthy, there's no way I would just go on a massive elimination diet that's that restrictive. But when I got to that point, it was a no-brainer. I had nothing to lose and everything to gain. And it blew my wildest dreams. So, essentially what happened was, once I finally stripped everything back to the basics. I just did meat, water, truth, and salt. Everything changed. My body was able to heal truly.